Hey everyone, in light of my MSNBC interview kind of going mini viral yesterday, I have received an outpouring of support and amazing comments. I've been thinking about what my remarks were, and I've had a lot of thoughts on my mind. And so I thought instead of doing just like a tweet or something, I would do a video since apparently you guys like me on camera. Which is really funny because I love public speaking. I'm a weirdo. I've always loved public speaking. I actually was intending on majoring in broadcast journalism. I ended up going the communications and PR route. But that's probably why you all felt, I guess came across well on camera, is because it's something that I'm not used to, but I enjoy doing. And I certainly enjoy public speaking. I gotta say, talking to my phone camera without an audience around is very awkward and weird for me. I think I just feed off of the energy of other people, even if it's just one person. So, so bear with me if I'm not quite as, poised or, eloquent as I was yesterday. I guess I need an audience. But first, I just want to thank Ali Vitale for, just reaching out and asking me if I would be interviewed. Obviously, she didn't know what I was going to say. I certainly didn't know her questions. I didn't know what I was going to say to her questions, but I really appreciated just having the opportunity to weigh in on the election. As you guys can tell, I have no shortage of opinions. And I can talk all day long. So I just really appreciated just being given the platform. Secondly, I want to thank Jason Overstreet. I didn't know if I would even be able to see my full interview because it was, filmed live. And I was just so grateful when somebody flagged the video for me. But really, I just so appreciate, Jason, your kind words and elevating my voice to your followers and to all the people who have watched the video. I think it's like tens of thousands of times now. It's like mind-boggling to me. Just thank you so much. I really appreciate that you elevated my voice in that way and that you found what I had to say meaningful. And to everyone else who has reached out, who has commented, who has shared this video, I want you to know how much I really appreciate that. And I don't know, I have a buzz. I've been riding on cloud 9 for the past 24 hours. You guys are the good part of the internet, I gotta say. I gotta be honest, I don't think I've received a single negative comment. Nobody said anything nasty. The people who I've engaged with talking about sort of, the progressive policies and is that the right direction to go in, even the people I've talked to about that have been extremely respectful and kind. And just thank you guys so much. Like I said, you're the good part of the internet and I want to hang out with you all forever. One thing that kind of keeps coming up is if I would run for public office. I kind of have a couple reasons why I will not be running for public office. Not that it's not something I haven't thought about, and I certainly do have a respect for people who do run for office. Politics is an ugly sport. I mean, you guys know that. It's ugly and it's brutal, and even on local levels, it's just you expose yourself to a lot of ridicule and criticism that ends up being unjust. And I think about what type of candidate I might be if I ever ran for office. I would run as a member of the squad. Even if I was running for dog catcher, I would be the squad dog catcher because obviously, as you guys can tell, I support progressive policy ideas. I consider myself a progressive Democrat. And so, the squad like AOC, Ayanna Pressley, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, that would be the type of candidate that I would want to be. And I see the criticism and just frankly the disgusting things that people on the right say to them, and that I don't have a stomach for that. But I also see some of the criticism that they get on the left, and it's heartbreaking to me that our own party can attack itself, and we attack our members within our party. I hope that that's something that will change, but for right now, I just don't have the stomach for political life. Second reason is that we don't necessarily need to run for public office to make an impact. If anybody who's shown that, it's Stacey Abrams. I mean, obviously she ran for governor of Georgia, and I wish she had won. I was rooting for her back in 2018, but now I realize that setback was a setup. set her up for success. I mean, we cannot understate the work that she did, but also the work that hundreds and probably thousands of organizers, grassroots organizers, community organizers, activists did on the groundwork for the past few years, trying to mobilize voters and get out the vote. And so for anyone to say, the only way you can have an impact is, by holding office, well, that's not true at all, as we've seen. And Stacey Abrams is a perfect example of that. And we quite literally, I think, owe the election to these grassroots organizers, to these activists, to Stacey Abrams, to the Black voters and the Indigenous voters and the Latinx voters and the LGBTQ voters and disabled voters who came out, who were mobilized and came out and quite literally saved our country from the grips of fascism. The third reason why I would not run for office is because, as I mentioned, my sister and I have a personal finance education business, and this is very meaningful, important work for me. So just to give you a little bit a background about me, I grew up with financial insecurity. I didn't grow up with money or learning how to manage money. And by the time I had, built my career and started, growing my income, while I was sort of, paying the bills and doing the bare minimum, I certainly wasn't doing an effective job of growing and saving wealth. And the more I understand about learning how to invest, the more I want to help other people grow and invest wealth, especially in the Black community, especially in other marginalized groups, BIPOC groups. We were not taught this stuff. And in fact, we were taught to sort of be leery of investing your money. And so my sister and I, we are doing the work of trying to educate these groups on how to grow wealth, how to spend their money more intentionally. Your money does a job, whether you are telling it the job to do or not, that it is doing something. It's being spent somewhere, somehow. And we want our community and we want our clients to learn how to do that with more intention, ultimately, so that they can achieve financial freedom. So this work that we do is very meaningful and important to me. And if you were looking for a way to support me, to elevate my voice, if you like the way I talk about politics, you're gonna love the way I talk about money. So what I would ask of you, the way you can help support me is, my sister and I have a Winance YouTube channel, and we need more subscribers. We do a weekly financial independence live stream show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can join us live. If you can't join us live, you can watch the replay on our YouTube account. If video doesn't work for you, you prefer podcasts, we've got a podcast. But the reason why I asked for YouTube subscribers is because we need to get closer to monetizing our YouTube account. We need 1,000 subscribers in order to monetize our YouTube account. Why is that important? Because when we are monetized, it basically democratizes our information and democratizes the work that we're doing. So it costs money to do our show. It costs money to run our business, right? And we have multiple income streams. We do workshops, we have paid products that people can buy. But what I would love is for our information to be free for as many people as possible. But the best way to do that is to put it out on YouTube and get people to watch our content and people to engage with it. And so we need subscribers so that YouTube will monetize our channel, so that we can democratize investing, so that we can democratize building wealth in communities that have been intentionally left out of wealth building conversations, whose labor and whose work has been intentionally stolen from them. So if you can do that for us, that would mean a lot to me. It's a way to help support a Black female-owned business. And then I'm going to leave you here with just another tip is, if you want to support the groups, the people who came out and won us this election, Black women, Black men, Black and brown people in general, Latinx people, LGBTQ, disabled groups, you name it, all of these different groups came out in droves to win back democracy for us. So if you want to pay it forward, find voices within those communities to elevate. And I'm not talking necessarily about the blue checks and people who've got, hundreds of thousands of followers. I'm talking about the people who have 200, 300 followers, maybe even less, but whose voices matter. Working class people, poor people. We need to hear from all of these people. We need to elevate their voices. And so I would say, find people on social media, diversify your content feeds. with people from these groups. Other ways you can do that is elevate your colleagues, the Black and brown women that you work with, the LGBTQ people you work with, the indigenous people you work with. Find ways to elevate them. Put their names in your mouth. Mention them to your boss. Bring them up in meetings. There are so many ways that we can be elevating one another and paying it forward to the people who give so much every 4 years and get so little back in return in terms of policy. So, thank you so much once again. Thank you for listening and watching. Thank you so much for your amazing comments. I just cannot understate how much it means to me and how touched I am that you find value in my voice and that you all have helped to amplify my voice. It means so much to me, and I think I might do more of this if that's okay with you all. The positive feedback has really been very encouraging to me, and we all have something important and meaningful to share. We all have experiences to share, and I would encourage you to do the same. Get out there and share your voice, because the more we can learn and hear from each other, the better everything is going to be. So thank you all so much, and